Hey, this is Darla Williams here. I'm an intuitive transformational life coach and host of a show called Bridging the Gap to Connections. But today, what am I doing? I'm actually coming on here to talk to you about what is coming up November 15th in Sydney, Australia time. November 15th. Here in America, with a lot of the people that I know, we're going to be looking at November 14th. Okay, so I'll get those details to you later. However, what I want to talk to you about is I am in this tournament, right? Which is a competition going forward, making sure, and there's a top level in this. And that first place winner goes home with $10,000. And I have to tell you, right now, I'm going for the top. I have a story that I believe that as I uncover it and I begin sharing what is our theme for this one, the biggest secret. I'm not going to tell you my secrets right this minute, but I am going to tell you that my story, I have been through some things. From the bottom to the top and everything in between. I did some loop-de-loos along the way, and I'm not even kidding you. What I mean by that is there are some serious twists and turns to my story. And in that story, there were moments that I really had to learn. And in that, what I want to be able to do is take you through that message and help you. I really do have a heart for the world. And in that, what I want to be able to do is share my story that will help others to see that no matter what, love does win in the end. But I can't give you all of that right now. This is just that moment where I am giving you some information, letting you know what's coming up, and asking you to please help me get to the top and share the message that's going to help millions once it gets out there. I cannot wait till November 15th to be able to share with you how love wins and what details are in my story that helps you to see clearly that all things are possible. So, until November 15th, this is what we got right now. So get tapped in, tuned in, and turned on, and I'll see you then. Bye for now. Hey everyone, this is Darla Williams here, and I know that there have been quite a few of you guys following me in the tournament that I've been in on the Next Top Speaker. So, a little bit of an update. I made it to the top 200, which is absolutely amazing. We had 4,000 entries and made it to the top 200. But in the end, I got cut. I didn't make the mold, so my trailer got cut. However, I have spent this last week really curating a story. I have a 7-minute story and presentation, so I'm going to do an hour presentation to talk to everyone, get familiar with all of you who have actually been following me. I'm going to do that tomorrow, which is Saturday the 15th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I will put a Zoom link on here so anyone out there wanting to know a little bit more about what I have as the biggest secret in my message, as well as those who want to know how love does win in the end. So if you want to hear my message, if you want to join along, if you want to come and get to meet me and talk to me about my message at the end, it's only 7 minutes of a message. It's an hour meeting for all of us just to meet and greet, to get to know one another. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you and your support along the way. So get connected tomorrow, Saturday, 11 a.m. at the Zoom link, and that's 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you need any details on that to help you with shifting to time zones, just ask. I'll help you out. All right, this is Darla Williams here, and come and join me in the Zoom tomorrow and come and hear what the biggest secret is that I've learned and how love wins. All right, this is Darla signing off. Bye for now. Hello, everyone. Thank you for all of the support. I have to say, in the last week of working out the details in being a massive tournament, I had the opportunity to go in and be an entry to the next top speaker. In that tournament, there were 4,000 other contestants that went on to try and go for the top. I made it through all the different preliminaries going through, and I made it all the way up to the top 200. Honestly, out of 4,000 people, being down to just the top 200 was actually quite a endeavor. I got to learn a lot about myself, as well as, just the key points to how to really deliver your message. And there were some pieces in there that I needed to learn, which was absolutely amazing. The last week has been challenging. It has caused me to really uncover some other things in myself that really are stretching me a little bit further. But ultimately, I knew that there were people that wanted to hear what was the biggest secret for my story, as well as, why I chose the title Love Wins. So I didn't want those who have been cheering me on to not be able to actually hear the message that I put together. I think that one, it's a bold move on my part, being able to actually show up even after a loss. And I think that it is going to encourage other people to know that your story matters. And sometimes we really do need to create our own way. Sometimes the way that we get there isn't the way we think we're supposed to get there. It's just we've got to do what we need to do to get there. So I really want to take a minute and acknowledge the couple of people who've actually taken the time out of their busy, hectic schedules and come and support me and share a little bit about themselves, who they are, and how in the world did we ever come to be, and what part of in your life, how did I impact your world? Those are the things we're going to talk about. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Simone.
Hello. How's everybody? How are you, Darla? How are you, Ashley? How is like all of the audience? Um, so honored to be here. First of all, the is, Darla is one of the brightest lights I have met in a very, very, very long time. I was introduced to, well, first, let me say who I am. I'm so sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. So, Simone Fairchild, I am a filmmaker, and underneath that umbrella, I am an actress first. That is my divine gift. I'm also a screenwriter, a director, and executive producer. I'm also the CEO and founder of a nonprofit called Eye on DV. That's the movement to eradicate domestic violence. So I am a thriver post abuse. I am also a master of Tien Shin Pai, so I've been doing martial arts since I was 4 years old. I'm a single mom of the most amazing, now 11. His birthday was this past weekend. Now 11-year-old, amazing little boy named William. Let's see. I'm a speaker. I'm a budding author as well. And I met Darla through a mutual friend, and we soon understood that we were mirrors of one another. We're both. We have similar journeys, sort of. Our our frequencies match. We definitely understand each other on an energetic level, a vibrational level, a frequency level, and so we complete each other's thoughts. We complete each other's sentences. Like we really get each other. And Darla understood me from jump, and she has been a light and an anchor in my life, especially these last couple of months. That She helped me through instances that I might not have made it through had it not been her as an anchor in my life. So my heart and my soul is always going to be here for Darla. I'm always going to be here for her, and I'm always going to show up for her. And she's showing up for me. She is championing. She is championing our mutual, um, our mutual drive, our mutual um, impact on the planet. And she has strengths that I don't, and I have insights that she doesn't. And together we make this amazing team. And I just, in a short amount of time, I've just come to absolutely love her. So I'm here because she is effing awesome, and I'm gonna keep showing up. So that's what I had to say.
You're gonna make me cry, girl. I know.
Same. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get emotional.
Ashley, it's your turn. We're gonna open the door for you. Who are you?
Oh Lord.
Tell us a little bit about you and how we met.
Okay, well, my name is Ashley. I am a single mother with 4 kids. Um, I've been through a lot of abuse and trauma and things from my childhood on up. You know, I went through a lot, and when I became a mother, I was a mama bear. I was trying to protect my babies, and I was trying to, you know, make a way for me and the kids, and we unfortunately kept attracting the wrong people. Well, when I met Darla, I was in a narcissistic 8-year relationship, and I was introduced to Darla through another friend as well, and I didn't know I didn't know anything. I was so discombobulated in motherhood and in my struggles and in my trauma. And Darla came in and sat with me, and she gave me so many coping skills. I mean, I couldn't even organize my life because I was so a mess in my head and my heart. And she wrote out a planner one day and mailed it to me and sat with me all night and helped me write out all my appointments for me and the kids. Helped me learn to take one task at a time and breathe. She did the fountain with me. She helped me dig through layers of trauma. I have come so far in who I am today because of this woman, because God put her in my life. I had an encounter with God. Uh, I ended up drinking and having a little bit of addiction with stuff, you know, and I was losing myself in my trauma and my pain. And I had a moment where God came in my room and spoke to me and took everything off my body and showed me like this vision of Darla in my face. As he took everything out my body, it was like she was redoing the fountain where, you know, the breath work, where it was almost similar. But I stood up and I thought I had died because I felt so much peace instantly. It freaked me out. I called Darla right away. I was like, I think I'm dead. You got to tell me that I'm really here. Because it was a lot to take in. But she told me about her story. She didn't judge me. She made me feel normal. She made me feel seen. She made me feel human. She's been such a good person helping me with my kids. I'm sorry.
No, it is overwhelming. Ashley, take a breath. It's okay. I put you on the spot too. So
I know you
what
did,
is
and I
the
just woke up.
impact? Obviously, the impact. What would you say is your ultimate impact that I've had in your life?
I broke free from domestic. I learned boundaries. I learned red flags because I was abused my whole life. That was just normal to me. But in my heart, as a mom, I knew it wasn't okay. But I just couldn't make sense of it all. And sorry, hold on.
With what we can honestly say is we can say that when we are impacted in life by those around us that actually know our story and actually can feel what we feel, It
Yeah.
totally changes and transforms lives. And that's really what Ashley is saying is I came into her life and helped her to transform and rearrange it. And she's still in the middle of learning all the things she needs to learn and doing the things she needs to do. And I want you to share your recent victory. Where are you right now? What have you come through? And where are you right now, Ashley?
Well, I moved out of the town I was in about 4 hours away because my abuser was just taunting me. And I just kept trying to, stay in the same town, but, keep the peace. We have a child together. It was a lot. And I finally took a leap of faith and I'm like, enough is enough. And I closed that door, I slammed it, and I went to a shelter about 2 hours away. And I finally, since from July till now, I just moved in my apartment yesterday, fully furnished it. I lost everything. My kids were angry with me, but I knew I had to start this chapter and I had to do it because I had the skills to be strong now. And I knew that it was just time to close the door completely and start a new one. And I just moved in with my kids to our new place yesterday. And I have two teenagers and they give me a lot of trouble. But last night, I had an incident with my 15-year-old. He's trying to be his own person and step into adulthood. And sometimes it makes me want to freak out. And I called Darla and she talked to me and my son and gave us amazing coping skills to work together as a family. Because she's been through so much stuff. She's light years away from where I am. And she's the best person to go to when I know I need advice so I can create healthier relationships with my children that will pass on to my grandchildren. I want to break these curses off my life. I want my kids to be thriving and successful in this world. And I'm learning as they are learning. And Darla is giving me so much strength and hope and coping skills to make a brand new life for me and my family outside of what I've known. And I know it was all ordained by God. I know it. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed to have her in my life. I really, really, truly am.
Thank you for sharing, Ashley. That is huge. And I just want everybody to take a minute to hear what she said. Just not that long ago, she was just in the shelter. She went into the Serenity House. She spent the time taking the steps that were possible to make her life possible again. She did it. Yes, I was on her. I was her, coach on the sideline. I was throwing in some plays that she could take along the way. But ultimately, she made the decisions that she needed to make, and she has transformed, rearranged her own life. And I am grateful because I will tell you, it's not always easy when you step into the lives of those who are going through it. But I would never, ever give up on her. And I sat with her through years of it until we finally found the way for her to break free. And she's in that beginning steps of redesigning her entire life. And I am so honored and privileged to be that fly on the wall that was able to.
Oh, you're more than a fly on the wall, girl. You are an angel from heaven, Miss Ma'am. You are a beautiful soul from God. And I love you. You are my sister. And I'm grateful. I really am. You're an amazing woman and you keep pushing through. And your self-love program. I've taken that sucker 3 times. I finally just ordered the deck of cards, and you are so much more than where you're at right now. And I just pray for God to open up the floodgates of heaven in your life because you deserve it. You put in a lot of work that most people don't. You take the time with people and you pour so much of yourself into others while you're still building your own foundation in the work that you love that you do. And you deserve so much, Star. You're an amazing person. I love you. I would do the other half, but I have the phone in my hand. Yes.
Oh, well, that brings me right there to really talking about what my message is. My message is love wins. And how many of us who have been through abuse the domestic violence, the pain stories are really sitting in the place of the question, does love really win? When we've been hurt to the core of who we are, we really do get lost somewhere in that story. And sometimes we're not sure if love really does win in the end until we come through certain things and then we realize love does win. Love wins in the end. So, how did I come to this? Well, first off, for anyone out there listening, you've got to hear a little bit about me and my impact with other people. I'm Darla Williams. I'm an intuitive transformational life coach and the host of Bridging the Gap to Connections. But besides that, I have a backstory, and I have a story that took me through a lot of twists and turns. When I began, what I really want to start with is I honestly, at one time in my life, believed with all of me that I was broken before I even began. Things had happened to me in my formative years, my earliest development, that were so abusive, so corrosive, so damaging, that I really didn't think that there was going to be a way out. I was already sexually abused by the time I was 3. By the time I was 7, I had been abused so bad in regards to mental, physical, and emotional, psychologically abused in ways that I didn't even think I could ever learn. Even teachers stated over the top of me that she's unable to comprehend, because I had had so much trauma that I was frozen in time. And I spent a lot of my life being frozen and not knowing. I was also born hearing impaired. So a lot of times people thought I wasn't listening, and I'd get reprimanded for the fact that I wasn't hearing. So I didn't get glasses until I was 8. So I wasn't seeing, I wasn't hearing. I was like a weeble wobble that didn't fall down, just bobbling through life in my early years. And a lot of it came with a lot of pain and a lot of abuse and a lot of things that were just unacceptable. I was exposed to people that entered my life, that entered me in ways that they should have never. And they damaged me to a core and broke the foundational structure of myself. Literally, when we go through sexual abuse, it literally breaks the root of who we are. So it was early. So that part of my life took over and really created serious pain. But that was what was the beginning. As I continued on, as I grew and developed my teen years, what happened next? My first encounter with a boyfriend, sexual abuse. This was becoming a trend. This was something that was supposed to happen, I thought. So I thought, well, let me just wield that around like it's the power tool, and I thought, well, promiscuity, then at least I'm in charge. So I proceeded into many relationships that were unhealthy. I thought that if anybody showed me any attention at all, that must be love, because that was the only form that I knew. It was broken. It was skewed. It was confused. That's not where my story stops, though. It continued on, and it continued into other areas. Men who came into my life and put their hands on me. There were times I didn't recognize myself, but it didn't just stay there. We do have generational things that happen, and because it happened to my mother at some point, it fell in and it happened in my world. And then again, there was someone I was with and it fell into my son's world. And I didn't know. There were serious, wild amounts of abuse that kept him from speaking to me for quite a while. So he harbored a feeling to protect my life because he thought I would die, which completely transformed and rearranged my son. My son suffers still to this day with serious addictions, refusing to see that he's worth more than what's happened because he hasn't broken out of that mold yet. And what happens from the falling down and the casting down of those things that go from generation to generation, he's still locked in. As much as I wish I could reach in and take him out, he has to make decisions, and I can't do anything about it. But with that, it brought me through a whole ton of years of development. I got him out of that situation back when he was 9, 10, somewhere in there. And I got him out of that situation, and I developed like Ashley here. I took myself out. I made the phone calls. I got the police involved. I got everything. They went in and they took the man and took him to jail. They put me in a protective system that allowed me to stay with one family member that he didn't know about at the moment where she was living and what was going on. And I was on the precipice of trying to find out in 2004, 2005, 2006, in that area of my life. They were trying to figure out whether or not I was going to have to change my name and my identity and literally leave everyone behind that I loved. When you end up with somebody that is that damaging in your life, it really changes the perspective of your structure, making you realize that you may have to completely become someone new. When you go through PTSD, CPTSD, those things, literally finding a way to rebuild who you are out of the damage, is what I thrive in. I love helping people see that there is life after trauma. So that is my formative, my early development. So I spent 18 years of developing myself, going through the counseling, figuring out what I wanted, standing in that space where they're like, if it happens again, what do you do? What will you do? I will rise up and I will walk out the door and I will change my world. It's not going to happen because I'm never going to let it happen again. Well, we all wish that it will never happen again. We all really do want that to be the truth. But if we don't face the anger, the hostility, the pain, the story behind us, what are we going to do? We're going to revisit places. But before I go into that, I want to say that what I did was in 18 years, I redeveloped my world. I found a way to happiness. I was living life without abuse. I was redesigning myself. I was working for myself. I published 2 children's books. I had gone from nothing, that I became something, and I became something so much that I had a whole town that saw me as a local celebrity. Here I was, everywhere I turned, oh, Miss Darla, how's it going? I love your book. This was things I heard everywhere I went. Oh my gosh, this character, I can relate to this. This was so wonderful. I was at your last signing. It was so nice to meet you. I was hearing the most of what it's like to be a celebrity, because it was a local small town celeb. And I was sitting at the max of everything. And in my world of development, what did I do? I had finally rose above it. I was no longer the circumstance. I was no longer the pain story. I was no longer all of those details. I had forgotten. I had chosen to move on in my life thinking that as much as I wanted to help everybody else, I thought, I'm going to just go live. And it was okay. It was okay for me to go live. It was okay for me to live that life. But deep down in the recesses of who I was still unhealed. I was unhealed because I refused to face my pain. I was so afraid of my own pain and my own story of what the violence that I'd been through, that I thought if I faced the anger of it, that I was going to become it. And that is what was the what if it happens again, when it showed back up in my life 18 years later. I was only in it for a very short period of time. I wasn't even aware. I was with someone, I thought, this person's into development, they're into this, they're doing that, everything's great. But they had the monster still within. And I had an unresolved piece that wasn't done. So was it right? No. Can I stand here today and tell you that the only reason anything happens to us is because it all begins and ends within? Because I refuse to deal with me, refuse to deal with my anger, righteous anger. I had righteous anger. But because I was afraid to touch the anger, because I was afraid it was going to change me, it caused it to rear its head. Domestic violence showed back up in my life again. And I was literally in complete denial. Oh, you're just over the top, Darla. You've been through things. Give room, give this, give that. No, I knew in my soul what I was facing, but I was refusing to listen. Every time source came along, every time God said, I'm turning it up, here's the heat, what are you going to do with it? I went, no, 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 that's not the truth. Shh, go away. That's not it. I was in denial. I was in love. Love makes us blind sometimes. If we haven't healed the things that are living on the inside of us, love will make us blind. And we will stand in places because of love, with true, genuine love given to the world. A lot of us who have all of that living on the inside of us do not actually get the mirroring back of what we're supposed to be getting due to the fact that we have suffered things that are living on the subconscious mind. And the subconscious overwrites the conscious. So we go through things and create patterns. The saboteur steps in, the things happen, and life goes on like it does. But what I want to say is, in that moment where I was down in the pits, all the way down in my world, I came back up. I found my way. I got to the top, found someone else that ended up coming in, and it was like blindsided. That world went away. I spent a long time sitting, spiraling. What is it? What happened? I did the work. I cared. I cared about me. I cared about others. I wrote programs. I did this. I was giving it to the world. Why did this happen? Why did it happen? It was because I needed to look at me. I needed to tune into myself and find out what it was. And it was literally a moment, just one moment in time, when someone came to me when I was still so angry. And they said, what will you do if it happens again? And I said, I'll get up. I'll walk out. So the minute that that man chose to put his hands around my throat, pick me up and slam me down on the ground, cover up my mouth, trying to suffocate me, I stood up. It was February 14th, 2023. I stood up again out of the midst of my own pain, of everything I had delivered myself out of, and I was standing in the remnants of the disaster all over again. And I thought, what in the world did I do to deserve that? I didn't. But I held a story on the subconscious level that said, if it happens again, what will I do? Everything I had built during my training, through all of my courses, through all of the things that I worked through, I built the warrior. Here was the fight. The warrior now could step in, and she took over. She got up. She demanded, without yelling, with complete sincerity, you have zero access to me. It was exactly midnight, February 14th, the start of Valentine's Day. And I was like, what is this? This is love? Here I am after all of these years, after all of this development, after all of these things. How do you end up in this again? And I'm like, it's done. I won't allow it anymore. Because of that development and that training for all of those years, I knew exactly what to do. I got up. I slept in a different space. I couldn't leave immediately. It was a midnight. I didn't have a car. So I had to make decisions. I called a friend. I became accountable to myself. I became accountable to the situation. And I said, okay, this is what's happened. I've got to find a way out. I borrowed money from people that ultimately said, don't worry about it. I'm just giving that to you. Set yourself free. I went from $200 to $1,400 in less than 24 hours because people cared to make sure I was okay, because I still had a network. Even though I'd walked away from it for so far and so long, I still had people. In that, what happened is I went ahead, I slept on the couch. That morning on February 14th, I went and I demanded that I go and get boxes. I packed up every single thing I could think of that was in that house that belonged to me. I went and got the next morning, I went and got a rental vehicle from Budget, and I began running across the United States, going to a friend's. So stopping off at other people's along the way. I have to say, with all the years, Ashley was one of the places I crashed. First place I landed after I walked out of that house. That woman held the door. She saw me on February 15th at the middle of, like, just before midnight. I made it to her house. I stayed there with her and her kids and got to actually meet them. Had the most incredible moment with her littlest one. He come up out of bed because you should go take the other kids to school, and he come up out of bed. Where's mom? I said, she took the kids to school. And he looked at, he goes, oh, you're Darla. Oh, you're Darla. He'd only seen me on video all of his life. And he'd known me since just after he was born. He finally met me at like 4 or 5 years old now. He was about 4, getting ready to turn 4, or just turned 4. And he comes and climbs in my lap. 3. He was 3. Climbs in my lap and literally put his arm around me and gave me the best hug I'd ever received. The little guy just tapped in my shoulder and fell back to sleep. I knew I was loved. Sometimes in life, we don't know what way life is going to take us. But what I want to end with is I want you to take a moment. And why do I say love wins? Because love doesn't begin somewhere else. Love begins inside. And what do I mean by that? Through all the pain, I learned a game. And what I learned was this. What I learned was when you love and respect yourself, you actually do know how to stand up and choose you. So right now, I want you to close your eyes wherever you're at right now. And I want you to put your hand on your own chest. No matter what situation, no matter what circumstance, I want you to remember love is the master key. And when we choose ourselves first, we choose to understand that love begins and ends within, which begins by allowing us to learn that love wins. So right now, while you're tapping your own chest, I want you to say, I choose me first. And I want you to rise in the fact that you know that starting today, that you can turn the key, the master key of love within your own world and in your own life. So my call to action today is choose you. And when you choose you, you realize that love begins within and not from without. Remember, since love begins within, there isn't a single soul that can actually truly take it away from any one of us. That's my story.
Yay, Darla.
I think I went a little over 7 minutes, but that's okay. I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's okay.
But that
It was beautiful.
The quick, fast journey through my story. There are so many different pieces of information that I can give to everyone. There are so many different lives that I have touched in different ways in regards to actually helping them to set themselves free. Love does begin within. And when you love yourself first, there isn't anything that anybody else can do. Because when you know you and you live in integrity and you choose to love, it transcends everything. It truly transcends everything. So that is it. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say?
Thank you, Darla, for making the decision to go beyond the competition and share your story anyway, share your message anyway. Um, when you were describing the competition and you said that there were 4,000 entries, 4,000 people that were competing, and you made it to the top 200, that is huge. That's huge. And that's not a loss at all. It's just probably just timing and probably just not matching of whatever their theme was. That was not a loss at all. You man, I'm sitting here with goosebumps. You know how the goosebumps work. So I thank you so much for showing your star seed. That's what I think of you when you describe your journey. I don't know if you know what star seeds are, but you're a star seed. You were brought to this planet during this time in human history to do what you're doing, to help other people awaken, to help other people realize their power, to help other people stand in their power, vocalize their power, get out of narcissistic relationships, get out of trauma, um, burn down the the connections that they have to trauma, reimagine their lives for themselves and their children to stand in their power and live their voices and live who they're meant to be. You were brought here for that purpose and you're living it. So to share your story outside of that competition, thank you. Thank you for standing in your power and continuing to be a light for so many people. Thank you.
Thank you, Dar. We love you, girl.
Thank you. Well, I am going to let everyone get back to the rest of their day. Thank you for taking the time and actually supporting me and being here while I shared my story and brought it to life. It is not easy to take something that was so horrific and turn it around and show the light of it and bring it to life in a way that actually empowers other people to stand up and do it too. And that is really my purpose. My purpose in life was to go through the pain so that I could help others learn how to walk away where they don't have to suffer so much. I chose it. I chose it from the foundations of creation. God didn't have time to make a nobody. He only had time to make a somebody, and he certainly made me a somebody, but he made you one too. Each and every single one of you. And that's my job, is to help people understand that you have a plan, you have a purpose, and you have a reason, just like I did. And sometimes our horrific pain stories are what is here to help pave the way to make somebody else's day. So thank you so much.
Hold on. I want you guys to meet my oldest son. Hold on.
Oh,
We have the Jordan. Hey, man. Hey, Jordan, a quick question for you, man. You're on the camera. You're on live. We're going to actually be putting this out. Can you throw us something? Can you tell us what you actually do? What do you do? Tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm an entertainer.
And how do you do that?
I don't know.
You make music.
And shut up.
I put you on the
You
spot.
become a famous music person when you're nervous. Darla and me.
Huh?
You're supposed to make your music.
Oh, somebody.
He's
Well,
like,
anyways, he's a teenager.
Jordan is amazing.
But
he actually has his own music. He does. You guys want to check him out? What is the name of his band? What he does? His show.
Jordan, hold on.
Give yourself a plug,
Jordan,
man, please.
What's the name
I
of
want
your
people
stuff?
to hear
There's
you.
people on here watching Darla, and she's throwing you out there. What's the name of your music?
I don't want to do that.
It's okay. Nobody's
Fine.
gonna judge
You
you.
deserve it, man. You write some really.
It's not good music though.
You're still blessed with music. It's okay. Nobody judges. We all come from things.
No,
What's the name of
I
your?
don't want that. It's just tell her. Hold on, I'm trying to.
He makes rap music, so he don't want you to get embarrassed by him because he
I'm not
loves you.
embarrassed by you, Jordan. I'm throwing you out there
I
because
told
I love
him.
you, man.
Oh, you got ball on the ball. Huh?
Never mind, Dar. Anyways, one day, I was just
I'll
throwing
get
him
the
on there. I
link
didn't
and put
expect
it
him to be on
in
the
the
phone.
description. So since Jordan showed his face for a minute with all of us, he is still young. He's 15 years old. He's in his, he's just getting started. He's got some really great riffs that he really does get out there. And he talks about reality that's in the streets. And,
He's very intelligent.
he's really real, and I
But
think that it will be really wonderful for others to hear him. So I definitely will throw a link of him in there so that we can get him out there.
I just wanted to throw him on there because Darla is actually getting ready to do family therapy sessions that I'm going to pay for me and Jordan because he is my oldest child and he went through a lot with me. So it's like we're learning and growing at the same time, and sometimes we butt heads. So she's been in the middle interceding. So that's why I threw him on there because I wanted him to explain how far we've come, but he's in his own little world right now, unfortunately. But Darla's interceding in between me and Jordan to help both of us be better examples to the younger ones. Yeah.
I'm a mediator. I act as a mediator.
There's a lot she's done in my life.
I allow both of them to be heard in a space where neither one of them are speaking over each other, so that each one can actually be hearing and seeing what
she'll be doing individual in a minute. She'll be doing individual therapy sessions with Jordan once a week and individual therapy sessions with me once a week. And then we do a family session together.
Yeah.
So I was just throwing that out there. There's lots of things that she helps me with in my life. She's an amazing woman. And I'm just blessed and grateful that God put you in my life, girl. I am. Thank you for everything.
It's always a blessing to be able
I love you, Dar.
Love you too, lady. All of my heart. Those kids are my kids too. They have become my kids too. They all know. They just run to me too. What do I do? How do I deal with my mom? No. We all have problems with the communication when we've gone through things, and we all want to be respected and loved. Even our children need to be heard, seen, and understood. And when they've gone through horrific issues in life, sometimes it's hard for them to regulate their nervous system and their emotions. So sometimes they're saying the most. And the reason, any mother out there listening right now, I want you to hear this. I want you to understand. Our children come and do the most to us because we're their safe place. So they say the things they shouldn't say. They do the things they shouldn't do because they don't know how to regulate their emotions yet. And it's our responsibility as the parent to be the safe place for them. But if we don't know it for ourselves, then we can't do it for them. So it starts with us. And when we begin first, it opens the door for everything. And that was Little Miss Jazzy. And the one before that is Jacoby. That's the little guy that gave me the great hug, Jacoby. Then we got Jaden somewhere around there. But I'm going to end it because it is at the end of the hour. Thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, because without the support, I'm just talking to myself, and honestly, I don't believe the message that I carry should be me in these four walls. They really do belong with those and being heard by those who need the hero's journey. I've definitely come through it. I am that hero's journey in my own life, and I really want to help set others into a trajectory to find the hero story for their own. So that's Darla signing off. Bye for now. Thank you, everyone.